All right, for the fifth pick in the Sunday six pack, I'm going back to the team I wouldn't bet at all last year, and that is the Arizona Cardinals -6.5. So I need a win in the contest, not a loss. And the Jets at +7, who I like. That would be, if they lose by 7, it's not a win in the contest. So I'm going with the Cardinals here. Look, don't get fooled by Washington's win last week over Philadelphia. They were down 17-0. I was on them. Came back to win 27-17. Their defensive line dominated. But that game was more about the dumpster fire of the Philadelphia Eagles than anything else. The Eagles allowed 8 sacks. Their offensive line, which is in shambles, just got dominated. And they made poor coaching decisions, aggressive when they shouldn't have been. The Redskins still only averaged a 3.6, somewhere in that ballpark, yards per play. The only team in the NFL to average under 4 yards per play last week. The offense did nothing. And Washington's only primary threat, Terry McLaurin, the only wide receiver really scared of in that offense, and their offensive line is still a mess. He's going to be shadowed by Patrick Peterson, and they can contain him. I liked what I saw from Arizona's defense, some improvement, especially on the back end. Looks like their corners are more steady now. Some of the linebacker additions paid off, even though Isaiah Simmons didn't have a great game. So I think the defense is going to take a step forward this year. And then on the other side of the ball, yes, Washington's defensive line is elite. Young is just he's going to be dominant. But Arizona's offensive line is in better shape than Philly's was last week. And you have Kyler Murray's mobility. He's starting to get smarter with when to get rid of it, when to scramble. That will help in this matchup. And Arizona just has too many weapons on the outside for Washington to match up with. So I know the football team is in first place all alone and got the win last week. I make this line a little over 7. I like the matchup. I think Arizona is a team on the rise. Give me the Cardinals -6.5. Going back to Cliff. Don't let me down, Cliff.
Yeah, if you look at our power ratings at actionnetwork.com, all of us have it within 6 and 7.5. I'm actually the most bullish on the Cardinals to have this at 7.5, and you're next at 7.1. So this was definitely a pick that I was thinking about as well. Yeah, I like them for all the things you mentioned. I think that if they can win against a team like San Francisco, another team that is pretty good at getting pressure with 4, with 4 and dropping back into coverage, you can beat that team, which is because of Kyler's mobility. And look, yeah, I guess that move for DeAndre wasn't going to take much time at all for them to develop chemistry, because he caught about 14 balls in week 1. So if that's happening already, I think we saw what we needed to see out of the Cardinals to give them that bump into where, we thought they could eventually be. It's just how quick could they get there? They are probably closer to being there now.
It's a great point, because it was such a great warm-up game for that offensive line last week. And I'm not to say that you play the 49ers to warm up for Washington, but just playing that game last week against a really good defensive line, it's going to pay off this week. And you're basically going from San Fran, who has, Washington and San Fran, maybe right now they have comparable defensive lines. They're both up the top 5 in the NFL. But San Fran has a much better back end of its defense. So you're going up against an elite defensive line, but you're getting a break on the back end this week.